Emisiune realizată cu sprijinul Camerei de Comerț și Industrie a României.
Bună seara, dragii mei! Bună seara la o nouă ediție a Ambasador România. În această seară avem un ambasador care sărbătorește curând un eveniment important pentru țara sa și vom discuta și despre acest aspect, dar pentru că se apropie acel eveniment, am ținut neapărat ca ambasadorul acestei țări să fie în această emisiune astăzi. Înainte de a începe discuția cu domnul ambasador, așa cum v-am obișnuit, am să fac un comentariu scurt despre lucrurile care se întâmplă la zi și de ceea ce noi considerăm că este important ca dumneavoastră, cetățenii, să știți, pentru a fi cât mai aproape de noi și noi cât mai aproape de dumneavoastră. Observ, fără să am vreo rezervă, că în aceste zile Rusia își joacă cartea în România și a jucat-o foarte puternic în Polonia și acum și-o joacă în România. Din păcate, își găsește aliați și acoliți atât în instituțiile statului, așa cum este Curtea Constituțională a României, cât și în mediul politic. Decizia Curții Constituționale privind interceptările nu este și nu trebuie să fie despre un serviciu de informații care trebuie controlat atent de către Parlament. Și acest lucru noi îl cerem. Ci este vorba despre 80% din clasa politică care în acest moment este unită împotriva acelor care vor să lupte împotriva fără de legilor. La rândul lor comis și ei greșeli, la rândul lor comis și ei erori. Însă în vremurile acestea este foarte important să-ți aperi securitatea. Iar securitatea României este pusă în pericol fix de către cei care trebuiau să o apere. Așa că, făcând această introducere, am să continui discuția cu domnul ambasador despre alte subiecte, însă este totuși o problemă de geopolitică. Deja de securitate națională, deja în momentul de față Rusia și partenerii săi din regiune sau chiar din Uniunea Europeană au dat o lovitură foarte puternică în relația pe care Statele Unite o are cu Europa și cu România în special. Asta a fost despre decizia Curții Constituționale. Mă întorc la carismaticul ambasador din fața mea, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you very much for being here. I just made a short introduction about domestic issues, but I want to come back to the discussion with you. You are the Ambassador for Ireland to Romania, and of course you are new. Your mandate just started, and Ireland is a country with very heart-giving people, open. They like to party, like Romanians as well.
Sure.
They are outspoken, don't have second thoughts. And this is something I personally like. It's complicated when you speak with someone and he is hiding his thoughts. So that's why I have a sympathy for Irish people. And my first question to you is, what does it represent your tie? Because it's I couldn't notice. It's of course it's green, it's Irish, but what does it? What are those flowers?
A good question. Thank you first of all for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, I arrived here 6 months ago, and I'm just at the stage of getting. I've finished settling in period, and from now on I hope to get out and about much more than I have done in the past, including visiting your fantastic and beautiful country. Yes, my tie is. First of all, green, which is a kind of a symbol of Ireland. It's a colour that we took on. It represents the green fields of Ireland and the grass, which is fed by the soft rains of Ireland and so on.
Ireland is almost all the year green, no?
Pretty much all year round. We have a very temperate climate, which means it never gets very cold and it never gets very hot. So we have a lot of very good grass to feed our cattle and so on, because that's a major part of our export industry, and our food and our produce and our cuisine. Getting back to my tie, it's green. It also has a small flower on it, which is a type of clover, which is called a shamrock. It goes back to St. Patrick. It's said that when he came to Ireland, he brought Christianity to Ireland, which is the significance of St. Patrick and why we have him as one of our national saints. But it's how he explained Christianity to the Irish people at the time. This was in the year 440, 450 or so. Yes. AD, so people were not very well educated. So he used symbolism to explain Christianity to Irish people. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, 3 in 1, and the shamrock was something that he could show them and demonstrate Christianity to them. So he actually did it very successfully, because we have a very large population of Catholics and Christians in Ireland.
A very good explanation. Now that you clarified why you what it represents your tie, which I like it very much. And by the way, it was very clever from him to explain in a very simple way, with something that people could understand very easily, what is Christianity and how to approach it. I will actually develop a little bit the subject of St. Patrick, because you are very close for celebrating it, and you are known for it. It's one of your most important celebrations. And St. Patrick is known to be the one which brought Christianity to Ireland. At the same time, he was, let's say, doing this in very early times, in the 5th century. And I wanted to tell us a little bit more about this celebration, not only from the history, but also from the present. What do the Irish people do in these days? I have my own impressions, but you tell us.
Sure, I'll be glad to. As I say, the significance of St. Patrick is that he brought Christianity to Ireland. What many people wouldn't know about St. Patrick is that he wasn't actually born in Ireland. He was born, and it's not absolutely certain where he was born, but it was either in England, Wales or Scotland, our neighbouring island. And he came to Ireland as he was actually kidnapped and brought to Ireland as a slave, believe it or not. But he subsequently escaped and returned to Ireland later on and brought Christianity with him. So that's one of the things about Ireland, about St. Patrick, that people would assume that he was Irish. He actually wasn't born in Ireland, very strangely. Yes. As you said, we love to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It's our national holiday, our national day. Again, interestingly, the parading is a big part of it. It's a big part of what we do at St. Patrick's Day. But the first St. Patrick's Day parade actually happened in New York, believe it or not.
In New York?
In New York in the year 1762, believe it or not, that far back. That's how long it's been happening. This was before America had independence, actually. I think 14 or so years before independence. So the first people that are recorded as having had a St. Patrick's Day parade were Irish soldiers, members of the British Army in the US. Both America and Ireland, of course, would have been part of the Great British Empire at that stage. But these were Irish soldiers in America serving for in the British Army. So they obviously felt homesick, and this is how it's recorded. They were homesick, so they got together and paraded. Now, as you can imagine, in 1762 there was probably some drinking and some firing rifles in the streets and so on.
Well, are still now. I mean, I think it's still now the same thing, no?
We don't go quite that far anymore, but we do love to celebrate. So that's, as I say, there are two myths about Ireland and St. Patrick and St. Patrick's Day parading. But yes, we do actually love to celebrate, and St. Patrick's Day now in modern times has become much more of a St. Patrick's Days rather than a St. Patrick's Day, because it extends over a much longer period of time. For example, and let me just give an example of what's happening here in Bucharest this year. We're having a National Day reception. The embassy hosts that. I host that myself on the 17th of March, which is next Thursday. The following day we'll have a major Irish ball, which is organised by the Ireland-Romania Association and also the Romania-Ireland Business Association. These are two organisations that work very closely with the embassy. So that's a ball on the Friday. On the Saturday we have a networking event which relates to something called the Six Nations Rugby Championship. The people in Romania wouldn't be so familiar with that, but this is a championship.
Why not?
Well, I know Romanians like rugby, but this is a championship which is run in our own part of Europe, and it involves Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, Italy and France. And so these Six Nations have a competition, a rugby competition every time at this time of the year, and the final, the last day, the decisive matches will happen on the Saturday. So we're getting together with a few of our Italian and French and British friends and so on.
You bring your knives, or it's peaceful?
It's very peaceful, it's very friendly. It involves their Chamber of Commerce and our Romania-Ireland Business Association. We all get together. We promote Romania and Ireland and each other, and we enjoy some food, and we enjoy some, no doubt, a beer or two. We watch the match. Perhaps an odd whiskey and perhaps an odd Guinness, which is allegedly our national drink. It's a drink that's very much associated with Ireland. So yes, but the biggest event that we have over the period is our parade, which happens on Sunday, the 20th of March. It starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It starts at Kiselev Boulevard, just at the entrance to Piazza Victoriei, and proceeds down the Calais Victoriei as far as the Hilton Hotel. So that's pretty much it. There are various other events that we have.
And what do? Do they just march?
Well, that's part of the tradition,
and
but it's
dressed in special.
Well, we have various what they call parade floats, which are basically decorated. A lot of them are sponsored by Irish and Romanian companies, but there will be crowds of people along the route, and there will be we will be giving out flowers and balloons and small toys for the kids. Nice. And Irish flags and so on. So it's really a bit of fun, and so we make the most of St. Patrick's Day. We enjoy it. It's a good bit of fun. That's what Irish people are known for, and that's what we like to promote. But there is, of course, a very important business side to it. Our government every year, members of our government will travel to various to all of the ends of the earth, you might say, as far away as Sydney and Australia and Canberra, and over to America, Britain and Europe and so on. They go to celebrate St. Patrick's with the Irish communities there, but we also arrange business events for them, and ministers will take every opportunity, which is their job, of course, like diplomats, to promote the country. So they will be hosting business breakfasts and meeting local businessmen.
Mr. Ambassador, I think this could be a good example for our ministers and parliamentarians, members of Parliament, to go and celebrate 1st of December with the diaspora, not just to stay here at home.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving this example, because you present and represent your country, your politicians, much better than ours.
Sure. Well, I like to think that it's not only fun. Irish people are a little bit known for fun, but we're also very serious when it comes to promoting Ireland. We do
a
that.
Mixture of both. Yeah.
Well, yes, one has to have a mixture. But we promote Ireland from the various points of view: trade and tourism, which is a hugely important industry in Ireland, the services industry. Ireland is a location for foreign direct investment. Ireland is a location for studying. For example, many university students will come to Ireland. We have some of the best universities in the world. So we promote Ireland from all of those different angles, because it's somewhat free advertising, St. Patrick's Day.
Absolutely. But the most important is that your officials are close to your diaspora.
Yes.
Which here doesn't really happen. More is happening from words, not from facts. And they feel that even in New York or wherever, they are close. They feel close to your country. They feel your officials there, coming, celebrating, being close to them. That is very important.
I think that's a very important point that you made, and that's going back to the first St. Patrick's Day parade, I think, and why it has maintained and grown over the years into what it is now is because our communities abroad want to feel close to Ireland, not only for themselves, but they want to feel close to Ireland for their children and their grandchildren. So they want to maintain those links. It's very important also to Ireland that we maintain those links. I would just come back to a little point that you made there about Romania, because Romania has actually initiated a process of something along the same lines of Ireland, engaging much better and much more often and much more regularly with your own diaspora. I've had meetings with the President's advisor on diaspora matters, and there was a major conference here recently which I attended.
Yes,
actually,
I was also there.
Yeah, the interesting.
You are speaking about Mrs. Sandra Pralong, which organized.
Mrs. Sandra Pralong, exactly.
It was a very good event, yes.
Yeah, it was very good. And what you may have noticed is that the keynote speaker that day was a gentleman called Kingsley Aikens,
yes.
who's Irish, but who's, I think, probably one of the foremost experts in the world on diaspora matters.
Very good one. Yeah.
So I think, in fairness, Romania now is doing something, and Romania is looking at examples of how Ireland and various other countries have done this successfully, and it's a process that has begun, and I think the President and his advisor, Mrs. Pralong, are certainly very serious.
Certainly, but it's not enough. I mean, we need more than one institution to do something and to do more. Yeah. Because we have many people outside the country. The number of our citizens being abroad, it's almost the number of your population, 4.6 million. So we have all the interest to keep close the diaspora. We have a few minutes before the first break, commercial break, and I want to ask you something. You Irish are known for having the sense of humor, don't you?
I think so, but
yeah?
we're not the only ones. We're known for having a good sense of humour. Our neighbours, the British, are pretty much the same also, and we have a similar sense of humour to them.
Yeah. No, I think you're...
Maybe I'm being too modest.
No. I think a little bit different approaches, but you are more direct. And I want to ask you a few questions, Mr. Ambassador, because I have my curiosity. I saw those things on the internet in my research, and I want to ask you, you know, even about my hometown, there are so many things told, asked, and I recognize some of them are true, some of them are not. So about Armenia. And stereotypes exist, words exist. Now, I know that in Dublin, the houses have their doors very colorful. Is it true?
Yes, that's true, yes.
And my question is, I mean, the story says that this is happening because in ancient times, or not now, let's see, a long time ago, the Irishmen were drinking so much they couldn't find the door. Is it true or not? And they had to make the door very clear and very colorful.
I think you'll find that that's not true. That's not one that I've heard before, but it's a good story, so I'll let you away with it. In Ireland, you know, a long time ago, all the doors were the same colour. They were all wood, and in fact, they were all half doors, so that you could open the top half I
saw one which is not white. I saw one which is, I think, yellow.
No, I think we just like colourful. We like colour, and we like gaiety, and we like fun. So we like to paint our hall door, and especially you'll find in the city centre in Dublin, particularly, you'll find all of the doors of offices are all coloured yellow and light green and so on, all different. Actually, it's an attraction. It helps to make the city attractive.
So it's not true, the story?
Well, I don't know if the story about people not finding their homes is true, but certainly that's not the reason we have colourful doors, no.
Another one is, you know, I've read that you have a whiskey temple. And my first impression was that you have a temple, and that whiskey temple comes from there. But actually, it comes from the family which held this whiskey factory. Is this
doesn't mean anything to me, I have to say. We have a very important whiskey industry. It's our drinks industry is very important to us, and you'll know the various brands such as Jameson and so on, and also, you know, various other things. Irish liqueurs. We make 50% of the liqueur creams in the world, actually.
Really? But 50%?
50% of all Irish liqueur creams that you will find throughout the world are made in Ireland. It's a huge part of our export industry. Yes.
Wow.
But yes, there are a number of countries that are up there when it comes to whiskey manufacturing. Our friends, neighbours in Scotland, for example, would be another example. But Irish whiskey is well known throughout the world. It's growing exponentially in terms of a proportion of our exports. It's growing every year, which is really good.
We will take a short break of commercials and be back. What I want to tell to the citizens, to transmit to them, is that we need to know also the people that are living here from different countries, and we starting with this talk show, with this edition, we'll have a new, let's say, part of the talk show, a special part of the talk show, which is dedicated to know the community, to know the issues, to know the people, to know stories. It is realized by my colleague Adriana Ionescu, and I want you to see a little bit of the interview she took to one of your compatriots living here for many years, which I think loves Romania more than some Romanians.
Yes.
And this is quite interesting actually, because it's an example of, also for Romanians, how they could actually love their country. Let's take a short break of commercials and be back. And then please, of course, watch the interview that Adriana took. Thank you very much. Commercials.